Hello everyone, it's Amy, and I'm here for week 14 of Build Your Stash and Craft. And this week we are making decorated clothespins. Now I have the little tiny clothespins that I got at the Dollar Tree, and you can do these or you can do regular size clothespins, whichever you choose. And here I have some that I've just done up to show you what we're doing. And I've just got some here that I've painted with the craft paints. And then I have these two here that I actually just dyed with paint and water, so they come out a much lighter color. And then I have two here that I painted with fingernail polish. But that's all we're going to do is put some color on them, and then once you put color on them, you can use them just like that, which they look pretty like that. Or you can decorate them up. I have some here with bling and an eyeball and one with two eyeballs. I had put one of my dragonflies on one, some butterflies and some flowers. And these are the little foam flowers we bought to make stamps. A little dyed bow on top of a dyed clip, and then a heart and another butterfly. So this is what we're going to do today. And so what we're going to need, I'm going to move these out of the way, is we're going to need our paper clips. And we're going to need our paint and a paintbrush, and I have some little bowls, little fruit cups here that I'm going to use to dye some of our paper clips, and we'll start one of those right away. We don't really want to put too much in there because the more water you put in, the more paint you have to put in to cover up your clothespin. Let's not do orange, let's do green. The orange might be, because they come out very light, the orange might wind up being really, really light colored and almost look the same color as the... So I'm just squirting a little bit of my paint in there. Just kind of swirl that around and get one of my paintbrushes to mix that up. I like these little fruit cups. They, like when you're mixing, they've got these little ridges in there, which you can probably hear that going around there. It also works really, really great for when you're cleaning your brush with your clean water in there, because you can just go around like that and it just cleans your brush up so well. So there we go. So there's our paint and water. And I'm just going to throw a couple of our clothespins in there, because I wanted a couple that colored anyways. So then I'm just going to like swish it around. And what I do, because I haven't put so much in here, and if it's flat, part of it sticks out, I just set it on an angle somewhere so that all of the painty water covers my clothespins. So I'm going to sit that right over here. There, I just put it over there on an angle. So then all we're going to need to do is you can just choose how you want to color your little clothespins. You can just leave them plain. You can even put just put a little bit of glue on there and put some paper on it, and then just trim both sides off. And that's really cute too, some of your own homemade paper. Now the way that I paint them, the easiest way to do it, I just have a bunch of little pieces. These are just a piece of a cereal box. And I just clip it right on there, because then that will just hold it while I'm painting it. And let's do an orange one up. And then you're just going to decorate it with, I just pulled out a whole bunch of stuff out of my craft box. That's a good paintbrush. That's what you get from the dollar store. These paintbrushes are so hard. We're going to wind up getting some regular paintbrushes here soon. But this is what we have now, and it does work, so that's all that counts, is being able to craft. But yeah, so I just pulled out my googly eyeballs. I pulled out some of my painted paper. I pulled out my dragonflies and some of the twine that we got when we made the accordion file folder. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the background music or not, but Papa's listening to his radio. So there we go. It's all painted, and then all I do is just set it down just like that, and it'll sit up. And can you see that? Just whoop. Well, and so then it falls over. Just set it someplace flat, and just set it just like that, and it will sit up. Make sure that you remember to paint this part, because I always keep forgetting. So I'm going to set that one aside to dry, and that's how you paint them. We've got a few soaking in our green. Here's one that I've had soaking in the blue, so I'm just going to pull that out of there. This blue is the blue that I got from the Dollar Tree, like this. I'm just going to throw that on my napkin there for a second. Tap it off. Now you can tap them off, but that will take off a little more of the color, or you can just set them to dry. I just set that up on its end. And I also have a purple one here, and this purple one is made with the regular Apple Barrel craft paint. So just pull that one out of there, and I think I'll just set that over here too. Oops. Okay. And then we'll look at some different things that I've made to decorate. Out of my painty paper, I made a butterfly here, and then I covered it with some gold sparkle nail polish. I have a heart that I cut out of my painty paper that I covered with silver sparkly nail polish. And then just two little circles to make a little flower. That was out of my painty paper. I cut off one strip of our blingy, and that was just a strip straight across this way. And I have one of our little styrofoam flowers here. And with that one, excuse me, I have one that I made here, right here like that. And what I did was I just colored the edges. Well, maybe I'll use the orange. So let's see if the orange shows up. And our little clips fell over right there, but that's okay. And what I did was I just started in the center and just kind of flicked outward to just kind of make it look like the flower centers look. And then just color around the edges. And because they're that styrofoam, you can push right down into that corner to make sure that you get that color all the way down in there. And this is a little bit darker in the middle. If you hold on to that with your hand while you're doing this, that's going to lighten up because it's going to come off on your hand. But that's what I did with the other one, which was a mistake. I didn't mean to lighten it up, but it looks really good because that makes a little light background. And then you can put a little more color on it when you're done that will be darker, so you'll have two shades in there, which works really well, or looks really well. So you're just going to color around the edges there. And you could do that with, like, the red would be a nice contrasting color, but this orange really just gives it a little depth, but doesn't kind of pop out there. So you can go however you decide. And that time, because I did that so quick, it really took off all of the color. I'm just going to do that. Tap off just a little bit to lighten it up. And then put a little more on there. This one doesn't have as much room in the center as the other one did, but there we go. And then what I did, just to make it a little prettier, is I just used my glitter nail polish and put a quick coat on top. And then just set that aside to dry. That also seals in that the marker that's on the top. And I'm just all fingers today. A little bit more here. There we go. Just set that and let that dry. The one thing I love about nail polish is it dries. If you don't put it on too thick, it dries so quickly. Now I also took some of our twine and I just tied a little bow. I just did the 2 little bunny ears. It's so funny, I never learned how to do this when I was a kid. But it makes, when you're making a bow like this, I have such a little piece left, this is hard to do. When you're making a bow for a project, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this. It makes a really nice bow. It's, come on, you can do it. There we go. It's more adjustable. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it just seems like your little tails lay the same way, nice and easy. And there we go. Just adjust those. Because our clothespins are tiny, I like to just make the bow really tiny. And then the way that I colored these 2 bows was just to drop them in my colored water there. And I'm going to drop this one right in with our green clothespins because I don't have a green one. So I'm just going to drop that in there, and I'm going to use my paintbrush to push it down a little bit and just let that one sit. And then when they come out, if you dry them off with your paper towel, they will lighten up. Like this one is a little bit lighter. And if you just let them sit to dry, they'll be darker. The paint will be darker. So then the way that I glue everything on, I've been using my adhesive, Fix-It-All adhesive from the Dollar Tree. And this, you know, the smell of this, it's a lot like, it's a heavy glue. It's like your E6000 or something like that. I just put a little bit out. And then I just dip my, let's see, I was going to decorate some of these. So let's see, for this butterfly, just trying to figure out which one I want to put it on. I think I like it on the blue one. So all I'm going to do, one thing to remember is the way that this is going to clip onto your project. So if I put the butterfly here and that clips on, my butterfly will be right side up. But if I were to put the butterfly here and then clipped it on a project like that, my butterfly would be upside down. So just remember to think about which way you want to clip it. If I'm going to clip this down on the top of a piece of paper, then I'm going to want my butterfly's head to be up towards the top. And do I want it at the bottom down here, or do I want it at the top up here? I think we'll put this one at the bottom. So I just dip my clip in there, swirl it around a little bit to make that glue release, and then just put that butterfly on there and set it aside to dry. And then you can curl his wings a little bit and that will look pretty. I'm just going to set him over here to the side. And then we've got a heart here that we can put. I like the heart on this yellow glitter one. And again, now if I wanted to clip this one sideways onto the side of the paper, I could put it here, or if I wanted to, for some reason, if I wanted to clip it up, then I could put the heart up here. But I think I'm going to put the heart, because I have a sideways heart, I'm going to put the heart up here at the top of my clip. Just dip it in there, swirl it around, and it makes that glue release instead of having a long string following you. And just put our little heart on there. And then set that one aside to dry. And that really does not take long to dry at all. What else do we have here? We have our little flower, which blends in too much with the green one. Let's see. Well, it just wants to fall all over the place. Maybe... I think I'm going to put it on this one right here. And where do I want that one? I'm going to put that one on the bottom part where it opens up. And because it's a flower, that one could go any which way. It could go up from the bottom, down from the top, or over from the side and look just as nice. And is this one dry? Not quite. So we're going to have to leave that one for a minute. And my bows, yep, those are dry. Let's do a purple one. Let me see how it looks on here. Yeah, I think I like that. A little bit of a contrast in the color. I'm going to put that one right at the center there. Right where the little line is. Pulled my glue down because I got a little up too far. And there we go. Now after those sit for just a little bit, then I usually go back in and give them a press. But first I just set them onto the glue and let them sit for just a minute before I press them down. Okay, so that is how you decorate your paper clips. Let's see how these, or your clothespins. Stuck my hand in the glue. But yes, I think they look just so cute, just like this, as an embellishment. Let's pull this out of here and see how this looks. Even the green kind of blends in with the color of the clothespin, because you know, natural wood has kind of an orange tint to it and has a bit of a green tint to it. Oh, we'll just let those dry. Let me move this one down to the white part, and I like to kind of like poof them a little bit when they come out. Where's my paintbrush? So because a lot of times, especially with that acrylic paint on there, when they dry, they're going to want to dry a little bit stiff. So, and let's go ahead and put this, I'm going to put the sparkly one, because it covers the whole clothespin. I'm going to just go ahead and put it on a plain one, because you don't have to. And it's a little tiny bit longer than the clothespin, but I just let it hang off a little bit on the top and the bottom. If I wanted, I could cut one off, but then it would almost be a little bit short. So that even looks really pretty just like that. And then we could just take a little googly eye, because I think that they're fun. Can't really do it that way. Let's see. I want the googly eye to be at the top of my clothespin, the part where you pinch it. I'm going to grab some glue and put that little googly eye on there because it looks cute. Now you could have left that with just the silver on it. You could put the googly eye on there. You could put a flower on top of there, or butterfly or anything. So that's another nice way to have a little bit of extra decoration on your clip. Set that one aside to dry for a minute. Had to get it adjusted, it wouldn't stand up. Okay, and then let's see about this one. Now, the way that I did this other one is I did not take the sticky off the back, because then it would be sticky all over on the back. I just glued, and I'm going to put this on the green one so that it kind of looks like a stem. I'm just going to put that on there like that. There we go. Now that one could still be clipped this way even though the stem would be going up. Otherwise it would have to be clipped up from the bottom for that to look like a flower and a stem, because I really should have put the flower here so that I could have clipped it on like that and it would have looked like a flower with a stem. But I have the glue on there and I've already put that on there, so I'm going to leave it. It can come in from the side. It looks pretty anyways. But that is something to remember to think about, is which way are you going to maybe want to put that clip on, and then decide where you want to put your embellishment on the clip. Here I have a heart that I did this way so that that one could be put on from the side, and I did the butterfly like that too, where he's facing this way. With this butterfly I put him at the top so I could clip it this way, but he would still be facing the right way. This flower I put at the top and this one at the bottom because it really doesn't make a difference. My dragonfly, had I done it the other way, I would have been able to put him on the top of my paper, which you still could, but it's going to look like he's flying down. And really, I think that probably he should look like he's flying up. But he also could go on the side, and that's kind of cute, look like he's flying in from the side. So those are our clips, and I will be back to show you all of them and tell you what we need for next week. Okay, I'm back, and here are the little clips, some of them that I had made ahead of time and the ones that we made today. And so there they are, and I just like to cut a slit in the middle of a piece of paper to hold them, because that way I can see what they look like on the top and the bottom, because they've got paper all the way around. So those are our clips, and I hope that you had fun making those, or that you have fun making those. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to put those in my box for later. And then what we're going to need for next week. Next week we are making a jelly plate. So we have some things here that are optional, but some things that are not. So what you are going to have is, you are going to have 2 boxes of Knox gelatin. These are from Walmart for $1.48, so that's $3. And then you're going to need 2 bottles of glycerin, or 12 ounces, which is 1.5 cups of glycerin. So if you can get it somewhere else, like in a bigger bottle, I've seen people with big bottles. So you need a total of 12 ounces, 1.5 cups, and so you'll need 2 of those. And then you are going to need, this size pan is an 11 by 7, and this is going to be a good size to make our jelly plate in. It's going to make our jelly plate nice and thick, and it's pretty good. 7 by 11, that's close to the full size of a piece of paper. And then you are going to need a plate like a big cookie sheet like this. Well, it's not really big. It is 9 by 13, because what we can do once we have finished our jelly plate, we're going to need to get it out. So when we take our jelly plate out, we are going to flip it over onto this larger cookie sheet. And then what we can do is that will be able to stay there at all times, and when you're ready to put it away, you take this pan and you set it back over top of your jelly plate like this, and that keeps your jelly plate safe. Nothing can set on top of it and make dings or anything like that. So that will wind up being your storage for your jelly plate. And so these things we're going to have. Now we are going to need a bowl big enough to melt our gelatin and everything together in to make our jelly plate. So you're going to need, this one is 9.5 cups. So this will be plenty big. So you've got 1.5 cups here plus 1.5 cups of water, I think it is. So that's 3. You're going to need something that's at least 6 cups, but preferably more like 8. And if you have a glass bowl of your own or a microwave, this one I made sure that it said right on it that it was microwave safe. And so you're going to want to make sure that your bowl is microwave safe. I normally use a glass bowl that I have in my kitchen. So if you have a glass bowl, that will wash, and glycerin is non-toxic and gelatin is non-toxic. So you can make this in one of your kitchen bowls, but you'll never be able to remelt it in your kitchen bowl. So, and if your jelly plate gets really bad, you wipe it off really well, and then you can remelt it, re-pour it, and it'll work all over again. So these things you're going to need to have. Now, you're also going to need to have, if you don't have a brayer, we're going to make our own brayer, and we are going to get a paint roller from the dollar store, from the Dollar Tree. You can get them for $1. And you're also going to need a paper towel roll, and you're going to need your masking tape, and you're going to need your paper towel. If you already have a brayer and you don't want to make your own, the one thing I like about this brayer is it's going to be wide enough to completely cover our jelly plate. And I think that's really cool because I have a brayer, but they're only like 4 or 5 inches long. And so when you put them across your jelly plate, they leave streaks where the edges are. So this will be kind of cool to try. And once this gets covered with acrylic paint, it's going to turn very plasticky because acrylic paint is plastic. So you're going to need this paint roller. And if they only have the small ones, I couldn't get the big one one time when I went, so I wound up getting this little tray. But this little sponge is not going to work well for your jelly plate because it's going to soak up a ton of paint. And that you're not going to want to do that because you're going to be using a lot of paint. So if you do this, we're going to have to figure out how to make this fatter to hold a toilet paper roll. They also have one that actually has this size roll on it, but it's only like about 3 or 4 inches long. You could also try that one with the toilet paper roll. So any type of a paint roller, and then we'll figure out how to make it into a brayer for ourselves. So the things that you're going to need that are definite is you're going to need your gelatin, your glycerin, your 2 pans, and your roller, and a bowl to melt it in. That's gonna get us there. Now, also, because we have $17.50, I did pick up another pad of paper. This is just scribble paper from the Dollar Tree, a scribble pad. And this is kind of like newsprint paper. And it's really quite cool. And I wanted something different. We already have, our card stock that we bought the other day, so we'll use some of that. But I thought it might be nice to have different kinds of paper. That's optional. And if you already have a lot of paper that you've been saving or something, you may want to get some extra paint. And that's the other thing. Let's see, let's add this up. What we have to buy. We have $3 and $8 is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, let's see. For somehow I have this added up on my thing and it comes to 16. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, and our pad of paper is 16. Okay, so that's $16. And then I am going to pick up 3 50-cent paints at Walmart. That'll take us to $17.50. So if you don't want the paper, pick up a couple more paints. You're going to want to have a nice array of paints to do this because once you start, you're really going to want to play with it. Although your paint really does go very far. You get a lot of prints out of it. So that's what we're going to need. Make sure that you pick up these items for next week. And next week we are going to make our jelly plate. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this week's video. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.